Have you ever felt your heart holding on to something even more strongly than your mind wants to let go? As if you're trapped in a web of emotions, pulled by invisible threads you don't know how to cut free from? You're not alone. Many of us are stuck in cycles of attachment to people, to old memories, to outcomes that haven't happened yet, and all of it slowly erodes our inner peace. But here's the truth. Change isn't just possible, it's within your reach. In this inspiring video, we'll turn to the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. These great minds understood something we often forget in modern life: the power of letting go, not as indifference, but as a path to emotional freedom. We'll guide you through profound Stoic principles that can help you release what no longer serves your peace or growth. Whether it's a person you can't stop thinking about or an emotion that lingers and clouds your direction, this journey will show you how to let go with strength, not fear. Through clear, practical strategies, you'll learn how to reclaim control, not over the outside world, but over your inner world. If you believe in personal growth, in healing, in clarity, and if you're ready to break free from the emotional chains holding you back, you're in the right place. Let's begin. 1. The power of letting go. Why is letting go so important? Think about it. When you cling too tightly to a person or situation, you give them power. Power over your mood, your decisions, even your sense of self-worth. It's like handing someone else the remote control to your emotions and letting them switch the channels of your life at will. But here's the key. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you stop giving away your peace unconditionally. It's about recognizing what's within your control and what's not, and adjusting your emotions accordingly. Picture your emotions like a kite. Each string connected to someone or something represents a direction your emotions might be pulled. If you hold too many strings or grip one too tightly, you'll be swept away by the wind. Stoicism teaches us this: loosen your grip. You can't control the wind, but you can choose which strings to hold. This way of life doesn't make you cold, it makes you grounded. It doesn't make you emotionless, it makes you whole. So how do you apply this? Start by identifying who or what you're overly attached to. Then ask yourself, why? Are you seeking validation? Are you afraid of being alone? Or are you trying to control an outcome that was never yours to control? Understanding the root of attachment is the first step toward letting go. Then, shift your energy to activities that bring you joy and purpose, ones that don't rely on someone else's presence or approval. Little by little, you'll feel lighter, stronger, and more connected to your true self. 2. Understanding attachment the right way. Now let's go deeper. Attachment often doesn't come from love, it comes from the ego. Let's return to our essence. We are beings of love. Think of a newborn baby, innocent, open, pure, no ego, no attachment, just presence. But as we grow up, the ego takes the wheel. It tells us we need this person, that thing, or a certain outcome to feel secure and worthy. Gradually, the natural love within us becomes clouded by conditions and expectations. We become attached, not to true love, but to the idea of love, of success, of identity. Remember this: attachment is the ego's game. It runs counter to love and inner peace. When you start to look at your attachments through this lens, they begin to lose their grip. You'll begin to realize how much of the burden you carry is completely unnecessary. So what's the solution? Live from love, not from ego. To live from love is to believe in abundance, to trust that what's meant for you will come, not through force, but through alignment. This is not wishful thinking. It's a deep belief in your own path and worth. To begin letting go of attachment, start by identifying it. See it for what it is, a product of the ego seeking safety. Then remind yourself, your value is not tied to any one person or thing. You are already whole. This realization may not come all at once, but it plants a powerful seed. And in time, that seed will blossom into freedom. When you start to let go from within, something miraculous happens. You don't lose anything. You simply find your true self. As we continue this journey, let's dive into one subtle but powerful force, the ego, and the illusions it creates. We'll peel back the layers of misguided clinging, uncover the false beliefs shaped by the ego, and learn to release, not just with logic, but with true awareness. 3. The illusion of ego. The ego has a way of making us believe things that aren't true. It whispers that we're not enough. It plants thoughts in our minds that others have something we lack. And so we cling to people, to validation, to relationships, just to feel worthy. This illusion causes us to idealize others, placing them on a pedestal as if they possess something extraordinary that we can never touch. But when life strips away those outer layers, we see a simple truth. No one holds a special ticket. We are all equally vulnerable, equally human. Facing that truth isn't easy, but it's essential. When we begin to see through the ego's illusion, we stop comparing and start connecting with ourselves, with others. Let's pause here to talk about something important. Emotional healing and self-worth. Telling yourself that you are special, valuable, and unique. This isn't arrogance, it's healing. It's how you comfort your inner child and mend what life once wounded. But here's the key. Your worth doesn't need to be built by tearing others down. Confidence isn't separation, it's connection. It's the understanding that each of us walks a different path, and no path is above another. We are all threads woven into the same vast fabric, each one equally important. Now let's return to our main topic, letting go in relationships. It's easy to fall into the trap of emotional scarcity. We fear losing someone special so much that love turns into clinging. But that fear, that's the ego in disguise, telling you love is limited, that you'll never find it again. The truth is, letting go doesn't mean being cold. It means seeing more clearly. It means understanding that while someone may be special to you, you are still whole without them. Your completeness does not depend on anyone else's presence. This awareness brings liberation. It allows you to love without clinging, to care without control, and to appreciate without fear of loss. And this is where Stoic philosophy truly shines. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our will. We can't control who comes into or leaves our lives, but we can control how we respond, how we perceive things, and how we move forward. When you begin to see everyone, including yourself, through the lens of equality, everything changes. You stop clinging. You begin accepting. You realize that no one in your life is truly irreplaceable, not even yourself. Understanding this doesn't make you cold. It makes you emotionally strong. It gives you the calm to face the uncertainties of life. And above all, it frees you from the illusions of the ego to embrace a liberating truth. We are all human, sharing the same essence. 4. Letting go in practice. Here's the real challenge. You must be truly willing to let go of the past. Willing to part ways with old relationships, old experiences, and even old versions of yourself. It's like holding on to a rope so tightly your hands are in pain, but you're afraid to let go because you don't know what comes next. But you know what? Letting go doesn't mean you'll fall. Sometimes it means your hands are finally free to reach for something better, something that couldn't come to you before because your hands were too busy holding on to the old. I had to learn this the hard way. I once clung to a relationship simply because it was familiar, because I thought it was safe. But I didn't realize that I was closing the door to happiness, while happiness was right outside, knocking, waiting to come in. And here's another hard truth slap. FOMO, the fear of missing out, is one of the most convincing lies the ego ever told. It makes you think you're falling behind, that everyone else is living a better life than you. But what you're seeing? It's not real life. It's a carefully edited highlight reel, a pre-packaged story not meant to reflect reality, but to grab attention. I only truly understood this when I stopped scrolling through other people's lives and started living my own. And at that moment, FOMO lost its power. When you let go of illusion, you don't lose happiness. You redefine it on your own terms. And that becomes a powerful turning point on this journey, from comparison to presence, from clinging to freedom. 4. Escaping the illusion of happiness. Just because your life doesn't look like someone else's doesn't mean you're being left behind. In fact, that might be the clearest sign that you're fully living your own story, creating moments that are yours and only yours. Clinging to a false image of happiness makes letting go harder than ever. When you see others appearing to live their best life, you start to fear you're falling behind, that you'll never have what they do. But remember, the grass only seems greener from a distance. Get closer and you'll see brown patches and flaws like in any garden. Creating a perfect-looking life for others only robs you of joy in your own. It's like running endlessly on a treadmill chasing a hologram. No matter how hard you try, you can never catch it because it was never real. And this is where emotional detachment becomes essential. It doesn't mean giving up on happiness. It means redefining it in a way that is truer, deeper, and more aligned with who you really are. Apply the Stoic mindset. Focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your growth. That is the foundation of emotional freedom. There's a quiet power in realizing no opinion, no past relationship, no airbrushed life on social media can define your worth or your joy. Once you understand this, it becomes your spiritual armor, allowing you to move forward, unchained by meaningless attachments, and open to authentic, soul-nourishing connections. Remember, letting go is not the end. It's a courageous step toward the life you truly deserve. 5. The path to true happiness. So where does real value come from? This is a crucial question, one that once answered can shift your emotional direction entirely. From dependence to self-mastery, from attachment to peace when it comes to letting go of someone, especially someone who mattered deeply. Understanding this principle is key. It's not about cutting ties with coldness or apathy. It's about realizing that the deepest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. Value doesn't come from someone else's presence. It comes from your character, your wisdom, and how you engage with the world around you. Many people believe happiness comes from having someone by their side, that self-worth increases with their approval and disappears when they walk away. But that kind of thinking turns you into a prisoner, giving someone else control over your emotions. Now imagine the opposite. You realize the emotional sky is wide open, and you can spread your wings and fly without needing anyone's permission. That is true freedom. Emotional detachment, then, is not about refusing to love. It's about returning to your source, prioritizing your own growth and your journey toward becoming your best self. You no longer beg for affection, you build inner strength. Imagine this like a garden. You can't force a flower to bloom by begging. You nurture the soil, provide water, sunlight, and trust the natural process. When you care for yourself, life blooms in its own time, in its own way. So how do you begin this journey of emotional detachment? Understand this, you are already whole, whether or not anyone acknowledges it. Your journey is to explore the vastness within you, to discover the freedom of knowing you can fly solo whenever needed. Embrace the Stoic spirit. Only concern yourself with what is within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your growth. That doesn't mean closing your heart or ignoring love. It means anchoring your emotions in the strongest foundation possible, yourself. You're not an unfinished painting waiting for someone else to complete. You are a work of art, evolving every day in your own rhythm. If today's video resonated with you, don't forget to hit like. If something shifted your perspective, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. And if you know someone who could be inspired by today's message, send this video their way. See you in the next video. Let's keep spreading wisdom and growing together.